This one photo caused her marriage to dissolve immediately. Since mobile phones now come equipped with cameras, it's super easy for people to send multimedia to each other in a variety of ways. For example, people can use social media and communication platforms such as WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook to send all the photos they want to whomever they'd like. This couple from Portugal elected to do so every day. This woman you see in the image below did just that, and the said photo caused an unexpected stir in the marriage. Her husband got incredibly angry, and the move ended up having consequences she wasn't prepared for. The wife Iris is someone who many people would describe as being physically stunning, which means people tend to notice her. She was always shy, but her friends suggested a dating app. In today's world, dating apps such as Bumble and Tinder are very popular. She created a profile and a lot of rude guys came along. Eventually, she liked and matched with Thomas. Eventually, the two decided to meet outside of the app. It only took 2 days after matching for them to start learning about each other by having a cozy bar date. It went well. The first date was enough for them to tell that there was something there because of a lot of common interests. By the time the 5th date concluded, both their statuses read, in a relationship. Thomas was so into Iris after a couple months that he decided to plan a wonderful trip to surprise her. Iris, unaware of the bigger plan, was very receptive to it. Though the relationship was only in the early stages when the traveling began, Thomas already knew he wanted Iris. Therefore, he decided that he was going to use the opportunity to propose to her. Iris felt like everything was happening very quickly, but she was so into him too. Therefore, she decided to give him an emphatic yes. Just 2 months before, Iris was dating around, unsure of what her future would be. The two were married very quickly, which was fine as none of them wanted a huge celebration. Iris and Thomas had their wedding, and it only consisted of them and those they deemed near and dear. The marriage got off to an amazing foot, and the two were very kind to each other and went on many weekend trips. Then Thomas's job called him, and then a change came about. Thomas was both ambitious and handsome, and Iris was beautiful and well put together. No one would have ever imagined that the relationship could be at risk. However, things usually look good on the outside. After they got past the 6-month mark, the couple decided to get a house together. They stopped living in their apartments, got a mortgage, and bought a house. The home search was very short-lived. Things were going very well, but unfortunately, Thomas's workplace was in a terrible financial place. Sadly, it meant that the struggling business decided to let Thomas go as a new cost-cutting measure. With Thomas out of a job, the couple didn't have the same kind of stable income they did before. Eventually, hard times began to set in, and there were numerous disagreements between the two as a result. Thomas tried very hard to get back into the workforce as soon as he could. He sent out numerous applications as he intended to get his marriage out of the turbulent position it had gotten into. While Thomas was still unemployed, Iris didn't see much of him. He was an insurance agent, which meant he was always traveling. He earned a lot, as he was very good at his job. While working, Thomas didn't like how infrequently he saw his wife, which made him feel very guilty every time he left her. The two only got a chance to see each other when weekends came around. Through the distance, Iris never stopped supporting Thomas in the job that he did. He made a lot of money, and he decided he wanted to show his love for her in his way. One day, while Thomas was in a hotel room, Iris sent him a message that brought tears to his eyes. He considered quitting his enjoyable job. He was usually tired during his limited time with Iris. The couple would frequently have arguments when Thomas was away. Iris wanted to be supportive, but she had reached her breaking point. One day, she sent her husband a very angry message, which was the last straw. Thomas knew he was good at what he did. With his qualifications, he was sure he would find a job close to home. He could afford a beautiful house and was ready to tell Iris. During the week, the two communicated via digital means. They spoke daily and looked forward to their weekends. When Thomas was free, the couple always exchanged photos. He got something unexpected before he was ready to share his news. On some weekdays, Thomas visited a bar after his working hours. He was away from Iris, who was frustrating him, and he just wanted some drinks. Sometimes he had great conversations with women he'd meet while there. Several days before Thomas was ready to tell Iris his news, he met a woman in a bar whom he was fond of. His boss was paying, and so he invited her over for some drinks. Though he had a great time talking to the woman, he held himself back due to his love for Iris. The woman wanted him to come to her hotel room, but he declined her offer politely. One Thursday, the two were communicating the way they usually do. They spoke about their agendas for the week, and Thomas anticipated sharing his news. Then Iris sent him a photo that collapsed everything. It looked like a standard picture of her sitting on a couch. Thomas then noticed it was a bar sofa, and it was sunny outside. Upon closer observation, he found himself angry, after which he cried. He could see something at the picture's angle. Iris wanted it to look like a relaxed photo, but she forgot something. Thomas's feeling for her began to wither as things were about to fall apart. In the photo, Iris's wedding ring was replaced by a different ring, which was meant to hide the white skin underneath. She was living a double life, which brought Thomas to the realization that he had to file for divorce. They were just having a great conversation and sharing photos, and now it seemed like none of that meant anything. After receiving Iris's photo, Thomas wondered how this could be his Iris. Iris was living a double life, as she couldn't stand the loneliness that came with Thomas being away. She tried to hide her other man's existence very well, but this time she wasn't careful. Thomas felt too betrayed to consider the prospect of forgiving his wife, and so he promptly filed for a divorce. Additionally, the thought of having been betrayed so long sent him into a deep wave of depression. Several months after the divorce happened, Thomas booked a city trip to put it behind him. He'd check for work email, though. While at a bar one day, he looked up and was dumbfounded. The city Thomas chose was one that didn't have any feelings associated with it. Everywhere he and Iris went had lost its appeal. He just wanted to be alone, but he made an excellent choice. A young woman came into the bar. Then he realized that he knew her. Her name was Angel, and she had once been a very important childhood friend. He wasted no time in going over to her. Thomas never visited this place before. The days were gloomy, but the nights were vibrant and beautiful. He'd never thought he'd see his high school mate there, and nothing was going to stop him from getting up. The two were high school lovers. In their final year, Angel's parents' work forced her to move abroad. With Iris in the picture, he didn't even think about her, but she still made his heart beat faster. Thomas went with his heart and spoke to her. Luckily, she was alone, so it wasn't so hard. She hadn't forgotten him, and she smiled brightly as soon as she realized that he was there. It turned out that she wanted to have a drink after finishing work. They used the opportunity to catch up. After hearing about the divorce, she was surprised, especially since she hoped to be with him again. They had a great time talking about their past, and he forgot the past few months. They ended up talking until the bar closed. Then Angel asked Thomas something he couldn't believe. Angel stared at him longingly and asked if he wanted a final drink at her house. They walked there hand in hand. It was a great end to the night and a start of a new chapter for the reunited lovers. The fact of life today is that when we involve our love lives online, sometimes we have to deal with the consequences. Photos posted online can have changed meanings once our relationships change, just like it did with this one couple. Naya Stevenson met a guy in college and were dating for 9 months as they quickly fell in love. The two planned to have a picnic together, and Naya tweeted, "I cannot wait to meet my boyfriend in July." You would think that everything was perfect based on her social media account, but that wasn't the case. Just a day after the adorable snaps were taken, the couple actually broke up. Many people would be quite embarrassed about posting loved-up photos only to break up the next day, but Naya decided to laugh at herself and share the news with her followers. You would think that people might respond badly to Naya's news and call her a hypocrite. However, people were actually surprisingly supportive and even admired Naya's transparency. So, why did Naya and her boyfriend actually break up? Naya explained in an interview with metro.co.uk that the pair disagreed when it came to policing and racism. After lengthy discussions, she felt their stances were just too different. Naya shared in an interview, "I didn't always trust his perspective as a non-black person of color on these issues, though I realize I should have tried more. Our disagreement on this bothered me and caused me to subconsciously doubt him." Naya continued, "He broke up with me because he felt that we wouldn't ever get out of the pattern of me doubting his politics. And though I'd make better efforts to trust him, he didn't think it was enough." Luckily, the two are still on friendly terms. Naya says, He thinks I'm really funny, and he's glad people are supporting me. It's almost like we didn't break up. He still tells me he loves me, texts me all the time, etc. If he's reading this, I want him to know that we could work things out. With that kind of attitude, who knows, maybe Naya and her ex-boyfriend will get past their differences and get back together. It seems like they both are very understanding people and still supportive of one another. We wish them the best of luck. Sharing your relationship status on social media sometimes means having to update the world when you break up. This can lead to a lot of awkwardness. Do you delete all evidence of a relationship? Do you make an announcement or just quietly change your status back to single? 22-year-old Western Michigan University student Bach and his girlfriend broke up, and the two decided to share one last memory together before parting. They decided to have a breakup photo shoot. Bach explained in an interview with Mashable that at first the photo shoot idea started out as a joke, but it ended up being really emotional and we got kind of sad. Bach and his girlfriend met in high school and the two had been together for 3.5 years before ending their relationship while in college. A year later, the couple reunited for the breakup photo shoot. Armed with a tripod, Bach knew they could easily pull this off. So he reached out to his ex with the outlandish idea, and much to his and everyone else's surprise, she agreed to take part in the photo shoot. Many people wondered why on earth Bach wanted to be a part of a photo shoot with his ex-girlfriend and where he got the idea. He explained, "I see my friends who are in relationships doing really nice professional photography photo shoots." Bach continued, "I had the idea of doing the same thing in the same setting, but post-relationship, in a different way. He thought that it would be interesting to post a similar style of photo shoot, just after a breakup instead of during the relationship." After Bach and his ex-girlfriend completed the photo shoot, he posted them to his Facebook page. Soon after, one of his friends reposted the photos on Twitter, and, as expected, the photos quickly went viral. After the photo shoot pictures went viral, people had hilarious replies to the photos. One user posted mockingly, "When your girlfriend comes back from war, and she's not the same." This was the friend's Twitter post that ended up making the whole photo shoot go viral. We wonder if he knew just how far-reaching his post would be. At least the exes were able to be civil with one another after their breakup.